Welcome back to Texas Tea, where I have hustlers, entrepreneurs, and prodigies of the great state of Texas come on and talk about their success stories and what makes them successful in their industry. Today's guest has $2.5 million in tournament winnings in poker. He aspires to be whoever that guy is on the docks that is stacking fish. Dejuante Alexander, aka DJ. So happy to have you on. And what is that guy that's stacking fish? Do we have a real name for that?
I don't know. I never looked at that, but now I'm curious. I want to know what's his job title.
I don't know.
He's not a fish stacker. So like the fishermen go out and get the fish, and these guys come out and they line them up in boxes or something. And I'm like,
I feel like the fishermen would be like game runners or at the casino. Like they're going out bringing the fish in.
They are.
And then you're processing
the
them.
Fishermen are the game runners. Oh my gosh.
I know.
And then they got people like me.
Processors. Fish processors. Fish gutters. Fish gutters.
I have to fillet them sometimes.
Fish filleters. We'll figure it out. I'm sure there's some site we can look up not only the actual professional name for these fish stackers, but also their median income.
I am curious.
I have a feeling you're kind of on the outlier.
I want to compare.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I'm getting paid pretty well for this job.
This is nice.
So anyways, man, so glad to have you on. I know you want to tell me a story. But before we go into that, whatever that amazing story is, for someone who is listening right now and is like, how can I be a fish stacker like DJ? And they have no idea about poker. What would be your first piece of advice for them?
First piece of advice, if you've never played poker, is to get in the game and study first. You want to dive in. There's so much information on the internet. You need to do research for yourself.
Yep.
Find some good recommendations and just dive in and just start studying and start reading and start trying to get grasp of these concepts.
Yeah. Should they go to 2+2 and go to beats, brags, and variance form, or would that be
It depends though. So if they aspire to win money, then no, I wouldn't suggest going there. But if you like to have a good time, then go to what is the beats, brags, and
brags and variance.
And variance, yeah.
I remember I would always used to go in there and talk about the most ridiculous things.
I've looked in there a few times.
It's just like a wild place. This is a circus. But anyways, so you had a story that you wanted to tell that happens 4 days ago. I feel like we should just start with whatever this amazingness is.
Well, so this story was like more. I wanted to like segue into it, but I guess we can get.
No, we'll segue. Okay. All right. We'll put another pin in it. So everyone that's listening right now is just like, oh my god, I can't wait to hear that story.
Yeah, there we go. We keep them tuned in.
Yeah. This is
no timestamp. Like you got to watch it all because you don't know when it's gonna come.
I never timestamp it because I want people to watch and listen to the whole thing, which sadly doesn't happen most of the time.
They're gonna listen to this one.
They're gonna listen to this one. So DJ man, so what made you get into poker in the first place?
Oh man, this is crazy. So
okay,
this was a long time, like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who worked at another guy I knew's clothing store, and like we used to hang out like at night and stuff.
Just a random clothing store.
Yeah, he just worked at a random clothing store, like a mom and pop owned clothing store or whatever. I mean, it was like a friend of a friend's clothing store. He owned it, and this guy worked there. And so one night I was just like, all right, we're getting ready to go get some drinks or whatever. Or actually, no, we weren't getting it because I don't think I was 21. I don't know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. We were doing everything legal.
We were doing something. Whatever we were doing something that we probably shouldn't have been doing.
No, DJ. I know that you were waiting till you're 21 to drink. Always legal. Always legal.
So, the guy that owned the store, he was like, hey, man, like, we're getting ready to play poker. You know how to play? And I was like, yeah, of course I know how to play. Like, who doesn't know how to play poker? Like, I know how to play all card games. I'd never played poker before. So I went and played poker with these guys. Shout out to Faisal, Neb, Shohan, Najib, Tamur. Trying to think.
Someone's gonna be left out, and they're gonna be pissed.
Oh, it's a bunch of guys that are gonna be left out. But there was some characters, and I started playing with these guys. and then I was like, I lost a little bit. And we used to play like, I don't know, like 20 to like $100.
Okay.
But I remember losing like the first 2 times, and I was like, man, I'm gonna learn how to play this game, and I'm gonna beat these guys. And this is I never watched poker on ESPN.
This was in Houston, right?
Yeah, it was in Houston.
Yeah.
So like everybody else, like the people that I like play poker with now, they were already playing in like these poker rooms and stuff, or like these games. But I'm playing like in this like small $20 game with my friends. I never watched poker on ESPN. I guess obviously most people got into it with the moneymaker boom and then online. I never did any of that. So I don't know. I just dove in there, and then like somehow we ended up branching out and like meeting some random guy. He's not random, but there's no point in me mentioning him.
Okay.
And he ended up, I don't know, like taking a liking to my game, or I don't know, whatever. He wanted to take me under his wing, and so he like took me to like whatever these other poker rooms, and yeah, the rest was history.
Nice.
But yeah, the guys that I started playing with, they were like, oh man, like, you need to start mentioning us. Like, we essentially taught you how to play poker. Like, if I didn't go to that clothing store that night, maybe I'd never play poker.
Yeah, man. The famed DJ would never have been striking terror into
I would have never been DJ. Yeah, I would have just been Dejuante all my life.
There would have been a vacant spot at the docks.
Like, who would have nobody could probably replace that. Not in Houston.
No, definitely not in Houston. I know we were talking about that before that, and I feel like I'm going to get a good number of people pissed off right now. But from who I've met so far in Houston, that's a Houston rounder, not exactly top of the ladder if you look at it from a nationwide situation. So I remember being in those rooms in the Houston area, and people who were quote unquote rounders. It was very interesting that they got that name. I was confused at times.
Like, what?
How did that happen?
Is that a rounder? Like, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a fish.
Pretty much, right? So you went to that clothing store, got into poker. So you had said that someone took you under your wing, but what one of the biggest things of advice you gave was jump into the game. So like, you were just taking advice from this guy, or did you really start to study up?
So he didn't. So basically, what I'm advocating for newcomers to do, I didn't do it. I just literally started playing. I just started playing, and I was like my family, like we play cards, we play like all types of different games, but never played poker. I think I played like 7-card stud like when I was like 13 years old with like one of my friends, his dad. Shout out Navarre. He's probably gonna watch this at some point.
Sweet.
But
I'm excited for Navarre to watch.
Yeah. So his dad, like, I just remember like one time we played like 7-card stud. Like I was like in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So I do remember that. And that was like my only poker experience prior to that night at the clothing store.
Did you hold on to that 7-card stud? Did you have you played a lot of 7-card stud?
I've played maybe like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 tournaments where, and then they weren't 7-card stud. They were just like whatever, like mixed game tournaments or horse tournaments or whatever. But I think I've played like, I don't know, like if we played like some silly dealer's choice game, maybe somebody called 7-card stud a few times, but nothing major. And then you're just I don't know how to play 7-card stud.
Damn. I don't know. There's something alluring about 7-card stud. I don't know. It's just like it seems more of a gentleman's game. I feel like I have to at least wear a bow tie most of the time.
I mean, I would imagine the game is pretty simple. If you know how to play no limit hold'em or limit hold'em, then you probably know how to play 7-card stud.
Yeah,
you just have your own community.
Yeah, your community is really close. Yeah, you don't have to share it with anyone. That's a good way to put it. You have your own board. Just everyone else has a different board. Well, that's pretty cool, man. So you advocate for doing what you didn't do.
Yeah, do not do what I do. Because if you do what I do in this day and age, poker is so tough. It's like extremely tough. Like it's really, really hard to like. Yeah. And so if you do what I do back then you're drawing dead.
Unless you play only in Houston.
Yeah, if you're in Houston, you have a chance to make it. Because I know a lot of these a lot of people that still play or like newcomers. They don't study. They just like get in there and they just like they look at some cards and they throw the chips in there and they hope that it works out.
Hey man, there's 5 cards that come out and hold them.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a lot of chances.
Yeah, it's really hard to make a pair. So Like if you make a pair, you should
check
blast
call.
it. You should get it in there. You should not fold if you make a pair.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's my advice. Do not fold, especially against me. Like if you make a pair and
just call down.
Just call, because I probably don't have it.
Doesn't have it, DJ. That's what I heard you were called one time.
I never have it. It's so sick that I never have it. I probably didn't have it that hand where you had to queen either.
Yeah, you're right. You just straight lied to me.
I mean, I like to make everybody feel good. Like I don't want anybody like, oh man.
Yeah. I was tilting. I was first. You can tell I'm tilting if I'm like turbo eating chocolate or some sort of candy.
You're chewing hard, you like, God damn it, like
you're
trying to keep your composure, but just like
if I come over with a bowl of like Snickers, like just like the fun size Snickers, but then if you eat like 10 to 12, it just becomes like king size.
Multiple king size.
Yeah.
There's a problem.
If I'm unwrapping at an ungodly speed, you should probably try to get in every pot with me.
Let's play some hands.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the chocolate tilt. But well, I appreciate that you try to make everyone's day happy.
Yeah, so that's one thing I do. But no, so speaking of that, so now we can go into the story.
Okay.
So a couple of days ago, I was playing like a PLO game, and I ended up like winning like probably like the biggest pot of the night, and it was like all in pre-flop hand in Omaha. Yeah, and I think I hit like runner twice.
Yeah.
Like,
I was top and bottom.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So this is what happened. So essentially, like the flop came out, whatever it was, and they asked me like, what do you want to do? Oh no. So yeah, they asked me like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I got flop. Like I have no outs.
Yeah.
I said I have no outs because like the board was like so bad. And I was like, I'm drawing dead, right?
Yeah.
And so. And they were like, well, you want to deal twice? Because obviously in poker, dealing twice is a thing. And I was like, no, I have no outs, so it's just deal. And I turned like the best hand. And then like everyone is like pissed at me because they were like, "How you said you had no outs? How do you how do you turn the best hand if you got no outs?" And I was just like, "Oh man, I just want the deal."
Yeah.
So whatever, I win the pot, right? And then like people were just like throwing shots and stuff, and I was just like, I quieted everyone down. I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna explain something to everybody here." I was like, "Cards recognize talent," and the whole room exploded. I was like.
That's the best thing I've heard in a long time. Listen.
That was it. I mean, I was just like, listen, like the cards knew, like the cards, like he needs to win this pot. And that was just it. Like,
so the key to your success is that you just got a decent amount of talent, and then you just left it up to the poker gods.
The cards will
recognize.
Yeah.
Real recognize real.
Like, they're not gonna like if you don't have the talent, the cards are not gonna. You're not gonna make the hands that you need to be making.
Oh God, I can't keep my composure because that is so. I don't think that's gonna be as funny to non-poker players, but that is one of the most hilarious things I've heard in a long time.
Get it. I think the non-poker players will understand that. Like whatever you do in life, if you do something well, you normally get paid for it.
True.
And you get paid more than others, more than likely.
That's true.
And that's whatever it is. It recognizes your talent. So that's the reason why.
I heard that some of the top NBA players, when they shoot, the rim actually expands.
Yes, Steph Curry, yes, and Dame Lillard. Like, is that like? And they just say like, listen, like the rim recognizes like when the ball is coming from me that it needs to go in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Also, and if we want to go further with this in the NFL. You know those gloves that they have on wide receivers?
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah, man, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like they extend.
Why is his glove so sticky? Well, they're not. They recognize
just know.
that the ball. Yeah, whose hand are they on? And that's it.
Exactly. It's just
they don't even do anything. They just literally just jump and just like extend, and the glove does the rest of the work.
Oh, I get it. I've become such a good salesman that customers they just recognize that. And they just sign before I even ask sometimes.
Just here. You take a look at this. I'm not going to talk about anything. You just look at this, and we're going to go from there.
Yeah. It's just I'm just shooting shots with my my eyes closed sometimes. Well, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that you're able to make everyone pretty happy, even when you suck out on
Even
everyone.
when I suck out, people had a good time. They enjoyed the cards recognized talent, and they kind of like so there's one lady, she's like what did you say again? She was like, the cards are attracted to you. And she was like, oh man, so the attractive players, you got to be attractive to win. I was like, no, I didn't say anything about attraction. No, don't put that on me.
Yeah, that would make no sense because there are definitely some obese poker players for sure. I was gonna say Chris Moneymaker and what's his face, Raymond. That would not be the case for them, but also the card should recognize that they don't have talent. So
yeah, I don't think that applied in 2003 and 2005. I think that's
the meta of the cards wasn't there yet.
Oh man, no, they don't like. Because there was not much talent in general back then. Like if you go back and watch, there was no talent. So it's like, I mean,
cards were just confused.
Yeah, they were just like, well, fuck it, like whoever. We'll just give it to whoever wants it most.
This is such a ridiculous conversation, but you didn't. I think you're making a good point. That's the best point, but the secondary ancillary point that I think we need to take out of this is that keeping other players entertained.
That is very important in poker. Like getting in the games you want to be in, you need to be social.
Yes.
I mean that's just it. Poker's a social game. Like we don't want people that are on their headphones or like watching a TV show at the table. Like no, get that out of here.
Unless you're like gonna share one of your pods, you know.
No. I don't want anybody like. Get this guy. This guy wants Strato, man. Get him out of here. Why is he in this game? Like this is just he's holding the seat and like you need to make the fish.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I don't like even saying that, but you need to make the lesser players.
Well, maybe we can rephrase this now. Let's not look at it from the recreational players.
There we go. That's the word I was looking for. You need to make the recreational players feel wanted. Feel like they're having a good time as well. Like they don't want to be sitting here and they want to gamble. So they don't want like this uptight guy who's just like not playing any hands and just like sitting back and waiting on them.
I know, just trying to crack them. Yeah. That's the worst. No one liked that. I used to be that way.
They don't ever talk. I
used to be like that. Man, they did not. I swear to God, it would be me, David, and Matt rolling in, just killing the game.
God. People were like, "Oh my God, here comes this trio, Three Musketeers. They have to come in here and
just make it terrible." I was trash, honestly. Not only was I not playing well enough, but I was also not entertaining well enough. But I realized that, and I think that's something that most individuals in any field where it's talent-based, especially if it's competitive, if you're at the top and you can have those who either, well, in gambling you're taking money from them, but someone who might be losing to you or might be your competition in some way, shape, or form, but you can kind of herald that industry because you're the most entertaining of them all. I think that's
a major key. Like there are some like guys who have no business being able to play in certain games, and they play in these games because they're friends. Like they've become like I don't know if you want to say. No, I'm not even going to say that because that's pretty bad. They're ass kissers.
Oh, I got you.
So, which is like
it's a different form. I don't know about that.
I think that's like going overboard.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah. You don't want to do that. I think you want to be yourself. And Matt, as you know, he rounds the mint game, and he's kind of become like the ambassador of the PLO game over there. And it's funny, like the people who he gets in tussles with or like combat with are definitely not the players that like you want at the game anyways. So it's almost like he's a champion to get the terrible players out because he just berates them. But then the players, the recreational players that want to have a good time there, he's developed a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Not ass kissing at all. He's still himself, but like he realized that these are individuals that he actually wants to talk to.
Yeah.
But the miserable tight player who's with the headphones on, mediocre skill, so the cards aren't going to go to him anyways. So he's upset about that, and he just can't get his skill up to have the cards recognize him. So he's miserable about that. He's too broke to play anything other than tight. No one wants that person there.
No one wants that.
No one wants that person there.
I'll play with Matt. I mean, it's been a while since I went to Mint, but I played with him a few times when I went up there, maybe at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I actually went there recently, like 2 or 3 days ago, but I just went there to like pick up some money from someone that owed me.
Oh, okay. So you got another hustle going on.
No, I mean it was like poker related.
Oh, okay.
Showed me from. So it was like some transfer of balance. So.
Oh, I got you.
I had to commute.
The
guy was like, "Man, we're getting ready to start a game in here. You should come in and play." But I was like getting ready to go to the gym, so it's like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't really care to play.
Yeah, you're talking about that where you're getting more into self growth, but you're saying you're transferring money. Are you playing online as well?
No. So someone owed someone, and that person owed me. So it's just like a middleman. I was like, all right, well, I'll just go pick up the money, and then you don't have to pay me. Yeah. So one of those.
True Houston poker, picking up money for other people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember those days just playing on tab, and then just.
I mean, look where we're at now. We have these major poker rooms in here, and you can just go in, you can play for an hour, and you can just go and get your money and have no concern. It's just that easy.
You don't leave the game at 4 a.m. and go to the cashier and they're like, can't pay you out.
Oh man, yeah, we ran out of cash. Nah.
Ran out of cash. That was so crazy that back in the day you tried to strategically leave so that you could get paid out because you
needed it, or like if the game breaks or something like that, you need to be the first person at that. At the desk trying to get your chips. And the one downside of playing well and winning was you were the first person the game runner came to and he's like, hey, listen, Roger, we're going to be short on cash. We got a lot of tab out there. Is it okay if I pay you tomorrow? And what are you going to say? No? Yeah. You're like, I guess. Yeah, why you even ask me this? You just make a statement like, listen, like, we can't pay you right now. We'll pay you tomorrow.
Yeah. But now that's not the case. So anyone that's playing poker right now in the Houston area at one of these legal games, you guys do not realize how good you have it.
Yes, these newcomers and stuff, these new guys to the game, they so disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
They don't even know who I am. So just like, what? I'm like, this guy.
They call you Dejuante, and you're just like, what? Excuse me. It's DJ.
No, this guy, like recently, like a few weeks ago, he was like touting this other guy, and he was like, man, this guy's the GOAT. And I was just like, he was like, he's the Houston GOAT. And I was just like, what?
Oh, man. There was one legend. What was his name? Little Mike or Little
Joe.
Little Joe. I knew it was a basic name.
Yeah, Little Joe's still around. I mean, he just plays in
massive games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In Bobby's game or what have you, right?
I don't think he plays Bobby's. I think he plays. I don't want to plug anyone's
names. Yeah. I know you're keeping really down low. Anyways, all right. So enough of us bitching about how good the new goats have it.
The new goats. This guy was the GOAT, and all just like, man, you have no idea who's the GOAT.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about poker in Houston.
I think people will throw around the GOAT term way too much, because if I've kept track, I probably have heard about 73 different GOATs in the Texas area, and there can only technically be one.
Yes, and that is not me. So I am not. Listen, viewers, I am not saying that I'm the GOAT. I was offended that he said this person was the GOAT.
Yeah. I think if I go niche. If I say I'm the greatest of all time poker player that owns an electricity brokerage and also has a podcast, I could be safe to say that I might be that.
You are probably the GOAT. You are the GOAT.
But that specific set. I got that one. Someone's gonna come in the comments and be like, "No,
No,
motherfucker,
sir, buddy.
no, sir."
Have you not heard of such and such? He's got you notched.
His name is gonna be like Robert Doffrey instead of Roger Dupre. I'll be like, "Damn, it's so close. She's got the same."
You got the same initials.
God damn.
He just like owned my life.
I know, just shitting on me. But man, I feel like this entire episode, by the way, I feel like is mostly self-serving for the both of us, which is okay. So I've had a great time. But for those who really listened in, and I know you guys listen in to hear some nuggets of advice in terms of trying to be successful. So far, we've gotten the don't follow the path of DJ.
That is number one. That is very important. You need to study. You need to learn all the tools that you pick up, all the tools that you can, and start small. Like, I mean, unless you're like filthy, like loaded, you should start small. But even if you're not, you should probably, like, relative to what you can afford, you should probably still start small.
And I know there's, man, I can't even recommend any books right now because I'm sure everything.
You don't want books are so outdated.
Yeah,
and you don't want any books. Everything is online.
Yeah.
And
Crush Live Poker is probably a good place to start. Honestly,
yeah, I have no idea where to start, but you can definitely do your Googles and go from there.
Do your Googles. Yeah, no books.
No books. Literally no books.
Find
books
some podcasts that aren't this one.
Yeah, you can podcast work. Actually, well, like I said, I don't want to plug anyone, so
no. You're really like stringent about plugging anyone. You just don't want to give anyone credit.
I don't want to give anybody any credit.
I would say that try to find shows that are live or have whole cards shown.
Or you can just like Twitch streamers. Like that's a good way to learn. I mean, you like most
There's a lot
of these people. You're probably like just to like pick up some things. It's fine to watch that, and you can just get a feel of the game, but. I would suggest studying, like going to these training sites, these coaching sites.
Yeah,
and that's
there's
where you
a lot
want
of
to start.
them.
There are a lot of coaching sites out there.
A lot of coaching sites, but you got to be careful. I would really try to figure out the person's background. Make sure that they have a long time frame in cash games, and are currently playing in cash games. What you don't want is someone who's out of the game.
Yeah, somebody who's
that's just trash.
That doesn't play anymore. But
so do that.
I've actually gotten coaching. Like. Within the last couple years.
Did I ever tell you, not to cut you off, but when I was like day 6 in 2016, I was fixing to call your ass and be like, if I made it deep, I was like, DJ, I need your fucking help.
I would have passed you along to someone who I've respected more. Yeah. I would not, because I don't know anything. In 2016, I mean, I played well, but I don't know what to do in that stage. I've never been there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For those of you who don't know, I finished 313th in the 2016 main event because I am, as we already talked about, the GOAT in a very specific situation.
Find us someone who's finished higher than 313 with your
podcast and energy brokerage. Robert, I'm coming for you.
Yes. Find someone that's finished higher than 313.
But so vlogs too, and get probably some mentors, right? Local individuals that DJ's available. We'll put his cell phone number right here.
It is. Yeah, I mean, someone took me under their wing who was like much better than me at the time. So if you know of someone, or if you can, I don't know, you can meet someone or introduce to someone, I would highly suggest that, because it's good to talk about poker as well. Like that's another big thing. You want to go over hands. You want to go over situations, all of that. Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things too, is like continually trying to bounce ideas off of other players, because not only it's like, hey, was I out of line here, but also it's like, what do you think would happen if I took this line? Like, do you think I could have done this? Or what should my sizing been if I'd done? Like, it's just, you want to really have a lot of those mental exercises, I think.
Yeah, because, I mean, poker is just like, there's just so many, like, it's a tree, and there's just like so many branches of like what you can do, and like what is the best play, and like who knows what the best play is. And I mean, like betting is like just like knowing like optimal bet sizing.
It's
very
wild.
No limit hold'em is a very complex game.
Oh yeah. If you don't want to play a complex game, play 6-card Omaha.
Yes. If you just want to flip coins and not potentially be dominated like you could be in Hold'em,
Yeah.
play 6-card Omaha and just flick it in there.
Yeah, just flick it in there. The less skill you have, the more cards you should play.
I tend to agree with that. But I mean, I like to play 4-card. I prefer 4 cards, 2 cards.
Dude, I swear to God, like I know we want to talk about your self improvement, but sorry, Omaha. What do you think about? When do you think it really started to take off, and how do you think that meta like changed? What do you think was the, I guess, not straw that broke the camel's back, but the tinder that started that fire?
I mean, what happened was like PLO's been around like in Houston for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I was playing these no limit games because I didn't know it. I played PLO a little bit like I don't know 7-8 years ago. Like when I dove into it about 7-8 years ago. But what happened was like all of these recreational players, they were losing a lot in no limit Hold'em and yeah, that's edges are a little bit bigger in no limit Hold'ems for reasons that you can dive into later. But in PLO, these edges are a lot smaller and it allows these guys to gamble. And it's pot limit, like people can't just like they can't put you to the test, so you get to see flop. You can potentially see flops for cheaper. You can get to showdowns cheaper. But I mean, there is more gambling in it, and
so it became more recreational player friendly.
It became more recreational player friendly. Yes.
Now I subscribe to the theory, or have subscribed to the theory, that even though you could have a bigger edge at Hold'em, because you can get it in more in PLO with those smaller edges, you can technically potentially get more expected value.
Correct.
So,
and also it helps that like I said, the recreationals are like more so geared towards playing PLO as to no limit. Like there's still a lot of recreational players that play no limit Hold'em,
right.
But in Houston they prefer to play PLO. So
no, I've been seeing that. Yeah. Also, probably the reason why we don't have a whole lot of pros out of here.
Yeah.
But all right, so obviously either of these games take a toll on your mind, toll on your body, especially if you're playing late. You had mentioned to me off the air that you really got into personal growth, and I think for any industry that's amazing. But aside from the advice that we already talked about, I feel like being healthy and able to stay in the pocket is huge. So what have been the recent changes to your daily routine that you're like, holy shit, I feel so much better?
Yeah, so obviously like this COVID quarantine situation has been like rough on a lot of people. I understand that, but it's been a positive for me because it allowed me to like sit back and reflect. I was just like, well, like when I was like spending a lot of time at home alone, quarantining, I was just like, man, like what do I want to do? Because I'm like,
yeah,
like I'd lost like the drive to play poker. I didn't like even at the beginning of the year I wasn't playing as much as I'd played in previous years.
What made you lose your drive, by the way?
I don't know. Like there's no answer to that. I just gradually stopped playing, and then when COVID happened, it made it easy. I was like, well, like I didn't even care to play anymore. I just like stopped playing, and then like 3 months going by and I hadn't played a hand of poker, and I was like, wow, that's like the longest I'd went without playing. It was like 5 days prior to that. Then I went 3 months without playing. So and then so that time I like started spending time with family. Started hitting the gym. I was like, what? Like, what? Look at me. Like, I need to. Like, I'm getting old, so I need to like get my life together.
Are you the same age as me?
I am 35.
Oh, you're 1 year older than me?
Yes.
For some reason,
November. So.
Okay, that's fine. Not that much. Not that much.
Yeah, I'm an old man, so I need to. I was like, I'm getting old. I need to get my life together. So here we are. I'm loving the path now. So
yeah,
I don't know. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy working out, which is like crazy because I didn't do any of this like a year ago.
Do you feel like when you have played after that, you're clearer and more in control?
Yeah. Oh man, first of all, like I was always like clear and in control. Like when I play, like I'm like my mental game, like in the moment is like 100%. Like it is strong,
Yeah.
and I'm like numb to everything. Like I don't get upset. Like I don't like like tilt is a thing.
Yeah.
I don't get tilted by like losing or anything like that. The only thing that tilts me is like just if something is going like if something is being done incorrectly in like in the structure of the game, those type of things that tilt me. Of like dealers are like doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's like tilting me. Losing like getting one out of it or something like that. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm numb to that. Like the poker aspect of everything. It's just it doesn't bother me at all. So
Yeah, I think that I always think of the epitome of no tilt. Whenever I think of the most serene situation, was I think it was what year was it? I don't remember what year main event it was, but it was Phil Ivey was at the final table.
oh,
And he
yeah.
and he gets cracked and he just continues to eat the apple. Just enjoying that apple, man. Just
Was
not
that the one where is that
Darvin
might have been
Moon.
Oh, was that? Did he make the final? Oh, I'm thinking about the Moneymaker when Moneymaker won, and he put it was like Ace Queen versus Pocket Nine, and then like Ivy flopped like the set, and Ivy flopped the set, and Moneymaker flopped top pair.
Yeah.
He had Ace Queen, and he had like runner full house. And
Yeah.
I remember that one. But yeah, I guess Ivy did final table. He actually
He
final table
did.
the main.
That was who did Darvin Moon play? Or heads up. I don't even remember who it was.
That was probably like 2009 maybe.
Yeah, but I just remember he's just eating that apple and he sees it come out and he's just I think he's just like, wow. And then just keeps
Cause like I mean I was like in a really big spot once. I played a bracelet event a couple years ago, and I ended up getting second in this event. But I ended up getting it all in with the chip lead with aces. And the guy had pocket threes. And he ended up beating me in the hand. And yeah, like everyone was like expecting me to like be deflated and stuff, but I was just like obviously like hurt after the fact, but in the moment I'm just like.
So what do you think? And I think this is really important for anyone in any high stress job. What do you think keeps you in the moment and tilt free?
You can only be concerned with what you can control. And that's been my mindset. Like it's out of my control. Like if something happens that's out of my control, it doesn't bother me. If I make a mistake, then that's when I could possibly become tilted if I like do something wrong.
Right.
So I think that can go into like all like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I think a lot of people get upset about the actions of others or things that are coming at them, and they forget the fact that literally the only thing that you should worry about is your bodily actions,
right.
Like and that you can
like even like stockbrokers, like you can only worry about what you can control and
correct
the decisions that you make, and that's it. And like whatever else happens. You just make the best decision that you can make, and you live with the rest. So that's kind of I'm numb to it. I've been knocked over the head plenty of times. So.
I know that's right. When do you think the turning point was for you that you kind of like got to that? How did you get to that point where you stopped worrying about results? Did you have a hand where you're just like, fuck this, I don't care?
I just remember I was like losing and then just going home like really upset or like being like just really upset in the moment, and I just like one moment I just clicked. I was like why what is there to be upset about? Like unless I'm making like massive mistakes or just mistakes in general.
Yeah.
Like where I need to improve, and like obviously I need to improve because I mean my poker game is like whatever right now.
Yeah.
But like if it's not something that I'm doing wrong then it doesn't bother me.
Right. So you had enough of negative impact that you're finally like
just being overly negative, and I just like and it's funny like I just like I play now and I watch people and they're just like miserable, and I'm just like I'm just like damn that sucks. Like because you can fix that. Like you can not be miserable. You cannot be so emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just like people who just they're actually like very entertaining. Like there's one particular like this one guy that I play with him like quite often.
You're not gonna plug him either.
I am not gonna plug him. I play with him very often, and he is the most emotional player ever. And one day we'd like this was maybe like a week ago or something like that, and I remember playing a pot with this guy, and I beat him. Oh, I didn't even beat him in the hand. Like he's like we're in the hand together, like we're heads up in this pot, and he's like and he like stands up and he like goes through his like whole routine of like, and I was just like I just told him I was like I respect the passion. And he had a fit. He was like, "What?"
Respect the passion, man.
He's super passionate. Or I mean, I guess he's probably not passionate, but that's what I made him feel like. I was like, all right, man, you just being passionate. No, he's just like extremely frustrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
At all times, I'm just like this.
And you just like set him off even more.
Oh, I did. Oh man, he was. He did not. I mean, he's like a fun guy, but he's like complains. He just complains like nonstop. God.
I can't even imagine. I used to be that way, man. At least in my head, I wouldn't say it out loud all the time. I remember, oh my God, when I used to play alongside Matt, and like, dude, I remember this one time. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, but we're gonna talk about it. I remember there was one time that I just got it in so good and then got sucked out on. And I remember I had so much pent up rage. I was like, because at the time he would like get, not that he'd get upset that I would win, but he'd be like, we'd be jealous of each other when we would win. And I was like,
envy.
And I was like, see Matt, I could freaking lose too. You see how much I lost here? See, I lose too. I was like, I can't believe you always complain. And I just like went off on a tirade. And everyone was like, where is this coming from? So yeah, man, I look at like how I used to be in the past, and it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Dude, now I like high five people. If they beat me in a pot and I was like, good hand, man.
Yeah, I'm just like nice hand, like, yeah. and I like I mean it too. It's just like okay, like no, like nice hand. Like you did good. You played your hand good. Or if you got lucky, you got lucky.
Yeah, hey, you caught that jack. That's great, man.
Yeah, like you played your hand. It was a nice hand, buddy.
Yeah, I was confused that the card came because you don't have any talent, but sometimes. That would be such a needle. Oh my God. I don't get what. How does it? Can you check if that's from the right deck or what?
Did that card not recognize? I guess it didn't read you correctly.
I guess maybe I don't know. You gotta watch that deck because clearly it doesn't see what's going on over here.
The recognition software is not working in that deck.
The RFD in the card. Is that what it's called? The RFD. Oh man. So
yeah. But no, on a serious note, for players, like very important is game selection. You want to be able to play in games that are decent games.
So we got
bankroll management.
So we got study your ass off. Research before you jump in. We have stop worrying about the results and just worrying about what you can do. And these two other very specific things that you mentioned.
Bankroll management.
Which I've never understood. You got $20K in your pocket. You got to spend it, bro.
Yes, you just fire. Like you have to be like if you're down to your last 1,000, you're all in for your 1,000. No, I mean, but realistically, you need to have. And I mean, and it's hard to like practice like what you need to be playing out of your bankroll, but
let's say someone did what you didn't do or I didn't do, study in the beginning, and they're like, you know what, I want to get in on these 1-3 games. I actually don't know what the meta would require for amount of buy-ins, but if you're playing, let's say most of the games around Houston are allowing for like 600, right? So you probably at least want what, 12K?
Yeah, but I mean that would be like optimal, but like everyone is not able to have that, so you might have to take shots.
Yeah.
You might have to get in there and play.
I do know if poker isn't going to be your only income, that gives you a lot more flexibility.
Yes.
Now, if you're not, as long as you're not taking money away from your bills,
Yes.
yeah, you can go bust because you can get another paycheck.
Right.
So that's another thing too. But don't win and then spend it on stupid stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't want to just like splurge out of your bankroll. Like, yeah, it's fine that like you want to like these still are your winnings and this is your income or whatever. You can still set aside whatever you want to play around with. But at the end of the day, this is your bankroll. This is your tools to making more money. Like in order to make
tools
money,
to making more money.
In poker you need to have money to make money.
Yeah.
And the more you have, the better chances you are gonna.
Right. Yeah, as you are the poster child for what not to do in terms of research and study, I am the poster child for what not to do in terms of spending your bankroll. Because I
You used to fire it up.
I used to fire it up. Yeah, no, I would play win big. You know, that cash set heavy in my pocket. You know, everything started to glitter. You know, the craps table started to glitter. You know, the suit store. You know, Hugo Boss started to glitter. Everything all of a sudden.
Like, this is way too accessible now.
I know. I'm like, oh my god, everything's so much brighter. It's just like they're calling my name.
I won this money. I need to spend it. I need to show something for these. For these wins.
I put a lot of time in, and people got to know. The cards have to know that I have skills.
Yes. So, like, look, this is what I bought with this with the skill that I have. So
exactly,
keep it coming in. Exactly. Just continue recognizing, so I can continue going to Hugo Boss.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a perfect cycle where it allows the cards to know who they should deal aces to and get you there on the river. But you also had mentioned game selection. I don't think you really can go wrong in Houston.
You cannot go wrong in Houston. There's like the bad games are good games. So there are no bad games in Houston.
Yeah.
And so if you're an aspiring player,
just move to Houston.
Just move to. Well, that's what a lot of people have done.
Really?
A ton of grinders and rigs.
Austin has to be pretty good too, right?
I think Austin is probably a little bit tougher than Houston. I haven't played in Austin, but I've heard some things.
Yeah, me neither. I've not played there though. I'm fishy enough to want to go there so I could play at the Texas Card House and play in TCH Live.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm just such an attention whore, obviously, by this podcast.
Yeah, I've been invited, but I don't care to do that.
Yeah,
I wanna play in games where the people know who I am, and then they have like a sense of fear of me. Like those are like I want to play with people that know who I am, and they are afraid to play pots against me, or they overfold versus me because they think that I'm like some whatever they may think, but that's not the case at all. Like,
I would rather have someone always think I always have it than always don't have it.
Correct. They always think I always have it. And now I'm probably like, if anybody watches this, they're gonna know that.
Well,
he probably doesn't have it.
In the beginning, you were really transparent about what they should do against you. Is if they make a pair, because in Hold'em it's hard to make a pair, they should call down.
You should always call.
Always call down.
Just get to showdown.
Yeah. Regardless of bet size.
That's a double-edged sword. So we're gonna see how it works out. Somebody might pick up some money off of me, and you might get punished.
Yeah,
really punished.
Really punished.
So we shall see how that works out.
We'll see if you get stacked at the docks or you stack DJ at the docks.
I've been stacked
every now
times.
Every now and then you see a Mako shark getting stacked on the dock.
Like, where is
this guy coming?
This big blue whale.
Yeah. That's so ridiculous. That's such a random thing. I wonder. I'm sure we could look this up. I don't know if Gonzalo can look it up. Where did first of all, I want to dab out Gonzalo. There's no way Texas Tea could be a thing without the absolute sorcery that Gonzalo does in terms of audio and video. But I was gonna say, if there's a way you can look up what are the origins of ocean-related poker terms, and how did someone like just
fish, whale, shark, like where did this come from? I don't think that's like this wasn't around like in the 90s and 80s when these guys were playing.
People weren't saying fish and shark and stuff like that. Yeah,
I think that's like that came in like the online era.
Yeah, but then there's an oddball. Donkey is clearly not an amphibian, so where did that come from? Like, is a donkey hauling the fish load from the sea?
That might be it.
That could be it. Because
I have no idea where these terms came from, but now I'm actually curious.
Izal might have something for us. He looks like he's really thinking there. But so to sum all that up, then it's 4 factors, and I think at this point probably not a whole lot of people are really listening for the sheer advice factor.
Yeah, you're like, what are these clowns doing up
these
here?
2 clowns. Another term, clown. I mean, that's a self-explanatory term. But so if you're doing game selection, by the way, you ideally try to find a circus. That would be the proper term.
You need to be, or it needs to be like a nice ocean.
A nice
with, plenty of amphibians.
A blue ocean, like a Bermuda Ocean, where you can just see everything.
Make sure there are no sharks abound.
No sharks, just like a bunch of clownfish. You see a yellow fish or golden with stripes. But yeah, so clearly if you have the decision to start to try to go down the just gold laid path of becoming, like, there's no strife becoming a poker player, none. So if you want to go down that path, you need to A, do your research, find some mentors. B, need to have some sort of bankroll management. C, get your head right and realize all you can do is how you play the hands and really get that right.
Yes.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to go and get yourself kicked out of a poker room because you tear up some cards and throw them at the guy across the room.
That would not be a good idea.
I've seen that. It's amazing.
I've seen.
You know who did that? I'm not gonna. I bet you can.
I mean, I've seen a lot of players ball up cards or throw cards at the dealers or throw them off the table. Like that's
the most beautiful thing.
Like people just like complaining to the dealers, like, oh man, like I've seen people call dealers pieces of shit, and I'm like,
I've seen that a lot.
Like what? Like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like this guy don't know. He ain't. He might be rooting against you or she might be rooting against you. But they ain't got no control over what they do. They're not bottom dealing or anything. Like they're not rigging the deck. No,
they're not rigging. The only thing that's making that happen is the cards, and they do not recognize you as a skilled player. That's all it is. Like the cards, they don't recognize, or they do recognize you, and they recognize that there's no talent there, and that's why you don't win. That's why these cards, like, oh man, why do I never hit my 19 outs or whatever the case may be? Like, oh, this guy, I always have the worst hand. Like, no, it's not the dealer's fault. It's the cards. They don't recognize, or they do recognize that the talent is not there, and then like they're going to go to the. And this is why some people will let other players play over their spot because they want to try to confuse. I think this is why they want to try to confuse the cards, get some talent in there.
Like, okay, like wait, who am I coming? Wait, like
yeah, I know
who's holding me.
Yes, because that's the card.
I thought, shoot. I thought it was like, man, I'm confused. Like, I recognize talent here, but just like 2 minutes ago, I did not recognize this.
I love how like we both have this probably insane imagery of these cards like thinking, and it's totally normal to us. Everyone else thinks we're crazy. But so the fourth part, game selection, and just making sure that you're not sitting down with a bunch of people. Now there's going to be a bunch of people that look like they might play, but glasses and hoodies are not an indicator.
Yeah, I mean,
have you ever worn glasses and hoodies?
I have never worn. No, I've worn glasses, shades before, like in a spot where if it's like where I'm in like a very bright like area, if I've like played on like any of the TV tables where they need like extra lighting, I'll wear sunglasses.
Right.
But hoodies, no. No,
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
For
And I don't
warmth.
like wearing shades because I want you. I need you to like be able to see my eyes. Like I need you to see.
Piercing with fear.
Not even that. I just like I want you to think. Like I want you to look at me and like this guy can't play any poker. And, like why is like he looks so silly. Like he has no business here. I need you to look at me because I'm giving these things off.
That's awesome.
I'm purposely giving these things off.
Oh my god. You know, so kind of a random thing I got berated for when I was in Miami. I was talking to another player who kind of, and the guy who berated me was right, because I was talking to another player that was pretty good, and I was saying like poker terms, and he said to me, what did I say? Oh my god, I forgot exactly what I said. I said like four betters. I don't know. I said something that no recreational player would really be super excited to hear. And he goes, man, he was like, I don't know why he was so angry, but he was angry. He was like, you know, there's not a single time where someone who's a not good player is walking by the table and they go, oh, four bet? No, that's the table I want to go sit at. He made a good point. So I think there's another thing too. And what you were saying, like you want to give off this image. If you become good at poker, and people don't know that yet, don't share that information.
Correct. Like don't. Like I have like a couple friends who love to talk about it at the table. They love to talk about like everything. I'm like, stop.
Don't
Please,
do it.
Don't talk, and especially don't talk to me about it because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I'm just like I'm here trying to have a good time.
Oh
too.
yeah, dude.
I'm just hoping I get lucky.
I love to talk hands with the recreational players, because then I'll be like, yeah, man, I think if you stayed around, it was coming. I think you've stayed around. Like that king was I could feel the king coming, you know? Because we haven't seen kings in a while, you know?
You're playing so much better.
Yeah, you're just really... Dude, that was a good fold right there. I don't know if you saw the guy that was betting into you, but, man, I could just tell that... You know, like, you just get that sense that they got it because they haven't been getting it. You got to say all the things. If you really want to cement your image that you don't know what you're doing, start saying you felt it. You feel it. You feel it coming. I felt it there. Start saying things like, I haven't seen threes in a while.
Man, I knew you had it. And man, I knew you had top pair, but I couldn't fold it.
I couldn't fold. I had to see it.
Yeah, I knew you
I had to see it. I had to see it. You know, because I just wanted to make sure you weren't bluffing me. Say things like, I just want to make sure you don't bluff me in the future. You know. So.
I don't know. I feel like that I'm making myself look like a douchebag. Like
really?
I'm not. I'm not happy.
No.
Like I don't want people to think like, man, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not an asshole, guys. I'm entertaining.
No, DJ is very entertaining. I always for a while I thought he was a mute, but that was in the beginning. You say not a whole lot at the table.
Well, so I went to this phase like when I first started playing. I was like very talkative, and I would like try to like outplay people by like talking to them and like speech play and stuff like that. And then I just stopped doing that, and then I don't talk. And then now I start talking, but that's like recent, like since I've like started like in the last year or so. But I went to like the first 2 or 3 years of my poker playing days. I would talk a lot, and I would like say like silly phrases and stuff like that. Whatever I used to do, and it worked. I was like, man, I'm a genius. That's what I was thinking. I was like, God dang, and I think that's like probably like has been like because of that, like because like I said, I didn't study a ton, but I read people really well. Yeah. And that was like always like my strong point. And I was able to like make people like their perception of me that helped me as well.
Yeah. I think that actually brings up two things that like advanced techniques, quote unquote. I think for anyone that's listening to get some advice on poker, I think one is if you're in the beginning and not confident of like what you're saying or how you're portraying yourself, do the same thing every time. That way no one can get a different type of read on you. I actually have moved away from exactly what you were saying before. I'd always try to talk people into situations, but I forgot when I changed. But literally, I wouldn't say as soon as I'm in a hand, unless I'm just playing a really small game and I'm there to have like a lot of fun. But if I'm like seriously there to win or just to actually play seriously that day, which is few and far between now, but I just have the same motions. I just don't talk during the hand. I won't answer any questions or anything, and it could come off as douchey. But after the hand, I'll be like, "Hey, man, this was just what I'm sorry that I didn't talk. That's just my thing, you know."
And it just depends on what I'm like. If I'm playing like in a game where I don't know many people, or if I'm like in Vegas or wherever I'm playing, like.
Yeah.
But if I'm like playing like a game like here in Houston where I like know all these guys and like we're always talking, like the camaraderie, like I'll talk during the hand. Like Gabe, for instance, like we playing some games together that are like very chit chatty and it's like rowdy and a lot of people are drinking and it's like there's some fun games and they get out there. But like people are just like it's just like just nonstop babbling and sometimes like because I'm like the reserved one of these groups. So I'm like y'all shut up like this. Like you guys like y'all talking like way too much. You need to just take a break for a little bit.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk though, for the most part, if you want to talk, don't change how you talk. You have it or you don't have it. Be just as bubbly as you're gonna be. Yeah. Right.
Also, like that was wrong. I don't mind people talking, but like when someone is like talking to me too much and they're not talking about anything, I'm just like. You gotta take it easy. You gotta back off just a little bit because you're like what I don't like people just want to talk to me and I'm just like I can't talk to you like nonstop. Like I need to take breaks too.
Yeah. Oh man, that was me. I used to talk to everyone all the time. Matt would make fun of me just because like I was just like absolute chatterbox. Unless back in the day when I was like really stuck, then I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. Did not want to talk about it. Those are those first few
chirping
years.
Chips.
Those chirping chips. Exactly. What was the other thing? Oh, I was going to say the last piece of advice. You were saying you got really good at reading people. Get some information on, like literally, not even just for poker, but reading
like just
body language and facial expressions.
That is very, I don't know if that's as important these days. Because I think most people don't like give off anything. Well,
really?
That's not true.
Dude.
No, it's not. I'm definitely.
I'll look over sometimes, and something won't make sense in the way the line, like their line, and then I'll look over, and I'll be like, "Fuck," and I'll just like instantly like know where they're at.
Yeah, no, people still like, and that's just something like you can't control. Like you can. Well, certain people can control it, but
yeah.
Most like recreationals are like these people that are just not very in tune with what they should be doing. They just they give a lot of things away.
They just spaz.
Yeah. And that's like myself. But I'm like trying to give stuff away too. So
yeah, I know.
But it's funny. I was like recently, like I don't know, within the last few weeks, the guy was like, man, he was like, I know, like I have like a really big tell on you when you like have it. That's what he told me.
Oh shit.
And I was just like, I mean, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. So I don't know if I don't know if it's anything like accurate or not. But like he paid me off and then so I got a really big tell on you or something like that. I was like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll see if you pay off me off again.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. You know what? I actually played with this guy again yesterday, actually, but he just like lost money and it was over like really quick. So it's like, okay,
I'll see you later.
yeah.
Oh man, you gotta love that. I know you now.
That's basically what he told me. He's like, I'm gonna own you, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, I don't think you have the capabilities of knowing what I'm doing, but if you say so.
You're like, I'll end it on this note. You're just like, look, I get you gotta tell, but these cards over here.
They recognize
that you have no talent. But anyways, is there anything you want to tell the viewers, listeners,
If you made it this far, because we've been bullshitting.
Yeah.
then yes, the real piece of advice is what we just went over. You want to study. Studying is the most important thing because you want to know what you're doing. You want to be good at the game.
Right.
After that, bankroll management. Some people might say that might be more important than studying, but obviously, in order to win, you need to have some type of clue what you're doing.
Yeah.
But bankroll management is like, don't play above your means, and you need to be able to keep yourself in the game. So like, yeah, if you're losing a lot, you don't need to like lose all your money in one sitting. Sometimes it's not your time. Just come back tomorrow and try again.
Right. Game
selection is very important, but if you live in Houston, then the selection,
you pretty much go to any game.
You can go anywhere, and it's gonna be fairly the same.
So if you're listening and you aren't in Houston, you just moved to Houston.
Yeah, if you're in Vegas or something like that, good luck to you. The games are just gonna be.
Yeah. I can't imagine living in Vegas and being like, "Yep, this is where I want to be." That's a terrible decision.
I don't want to play any poker in Vegas. All those guys are better than me.
Well, DJ, thank you for coming on. For those who did make it all the way over here, if you like the show, comment as always. If you're listening to one of the podcast streams, go on the YouTube channel, put down a comment. I'm sure DJ would love to tell you more about his fish stacking abilities. Not sure that's the correct.
I'll be checking his comments.
He'll be refreshing.
I know you guys. I'm gonna be watching. You try to like come at me like, oh man, this guy sucks. You might be right.
Yeah, he's gonna find you. He's gonna find you. He's gonna sit at your table and he's gonna felt you.
That is probably. I'm gonna definitely come. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna try to sit at your table. We'll see what happens from there.
So that's an open invitation if you guys want to play DJ one time. But anyways. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for coming on, DJ.
Yes, sir.
And that's a wrap, man.
All right.
That's what's up.